How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over all of the awesome news we received from the June Q&A Forge in Aeternum that AGS just released. But before we get into that, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. Now, let's get into it. For starters, probably the best news for the majority of New World players is that they have confirmed that Bane and Ward gear will be removed from the game, and that will be happening before the end of this year.
Baby! That's what I've been waiting for! That's what it's all about! Woo!
Initially, this system seemed alright, but as more and more set types kept getting added, and the gear management became more and more difficult to keep up with, this whole system just became a really painful grind for endgame players. They mentioned that this was mainly due to all of the player feedback they received, which is good to hear that they're taking player feedback into account, so keep on leaving as much feedback as you can for them. Their plan currently is to move the system towards consumable potions in-game. So for example, the Corruption Ward Potion, which increases damage absorption from Corrupted by 15%. They'll also be extending the time of these potions to be able to last for a whole expedition instead of the current system where it only lasts for 30 seconds. For me, this is a way better system, and it'll make these potions a lot more useful. So, if you have any Ward or Bane gear that's sellable at the moment, I would sell it as soon as possible before its value is lost. I know I got a bunch from the recent Spriggan event, and I managed to sell it off before the news dropped. Then, a really great question was brought up from the creator program, asking if there would be any updates to open world PvP or territory influence to make it more engaging, and the devs said there would be. Later on in the year, they have plans to release an update that will make open world PvP a lot better, and they made references back to the days when the PvP track was released and there was tons of open world PvP going on in Great Cleave. So maybe they're planning on adding in hot zones, or like some people have predicted, First Light might be getting turned into a PvP only territory. Either way, this is really exciting news that I'm sure tons of PvP players out there will be excited to hear about. Next up, they addressed the current burst meta, and said the time to kill at the moment is a bit quicker than they ideally want it to be. It's not something that they seem to be in a rush to fix, but they plan on fixing it in the future, by either lowering damage a bit or increasing health. Someone then asked if they were planning to make more traditional type raids, similar to those of other MMORPGs, and they reiterated that it's in the plans. This Sandworm trial will be used as a test for them, and through feedback from that, they will make the raids. But I believe this has been mentioned a few times before in previous videos, so it's not the most breaking news. There also seems to be a running joke throughout the series and on the Discord about hippos in New World. And for those of you who are looking forward to that, unfortunately there's no progress towards adding hippos so far. After that, someone asked why there's not more cover in OPR, which is a great question. It would certainly make it more enjoyable for the melee users who are just getting picked off easily by ranged players. They replied by saying they're looking into it, but it's hard to change things in OPR based on how it was made. So I wouldn't expect this to be something that happens soon. Maybe when the next OPR map comes out. Within the same comment about OPR, the user also asked why turret HP and damage was buffed, yet when you sit on a turret it's still so easy for other players to just kill you. In response, they said within this update, damage resistance would also go up, so that should help out with that issue. They went on to say that their plan is to make the turrets more of a sought after strategy in OPR that people will want to take advantage of, which I'm all for. As things stand, no one really goes to build them. If they can be made useful, it's just more things to do in OPR, more strategy to take advantage of, and for those players out there that aren't fully geared up yet, they can feel like they're helping in OPR as well. So I think it's a good change. They also addressed a comment on the possibility of more crazy heart runes in the future. And they stated that they'll be focusing a lot on making great and more crazy heart runes, with this Sandworm one being one of their favorite ones to date, but they will now be released less often, and won't be included with every expedition like they used to be. So bigger and badder heart runes, but less frequent, and for me, I'm okay with that, as long as they're really cool and innovative. Then I prefer quality over quantity. There was also a quick question about if all of their recent hiring would affect how fast they can release content, but they didn't really answer that in full, but I would assume that it would. And they also said, when asked about it, that for the future, they plan to move away from the PvP and PvP only perks on gear, but they're not fully ready to talk about that yet. And that about covers the most interesting news from the Q&A. I for one am excited. We got a lot of good news from this one. Some of the ones in the past were a bit less news-packed. Make sure you continue to send them your questions over on the Discord, and if you enjoyed this condensed version of the news, please consider giving the video a like, and while you're at it, why not subscribe to the channel as well. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video. If you'd like to see more New World content, then click on any of the videos on screen now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.